They couldn't imagine us as pitchers, but they see us now. They didn't see us as quarterbacks, but they see us now. They didn't hire us as coaches, but they see us now. They didn't let us on the job, and they still don't.
Contact myself or Stan, and we'll walk you through the exactness of how to get into that trade. I do want to sum it up by saying one thing. We talked about this in the very first assignment. You have to be ready. So
the Black Worker Center, in terms of what our role is for solutions, is creating the space, helping to facilitate an opportunity for our people who are living in this crisis to come together, strategize, and figure out what are the solutions, and then how do we build the power to move it forward.
I don't think I've ever seen a black foreman that's a laborer. I'm pretty sure there are some somewhere. I was with the laborers for a while, and I didn't see it. I didn't see any advancement. I didn't see me becoming, off a business rep, that wasn't even possible.
I've been in LA for about 15 years. I've been in construction since about 2000, union since 2004, and I never have seen 5 blacks from one company on the site. Sprinkles, maybe 2 or 3 from this company, or 2 or 3, out of hundreds.
I was approached by someone and they asked me, what do you think about construction? And at first I was kind of like, construction, that's a, a man-driven job. So it's kind of, it sounds a little hard. And I said, you know what, at this point, it's worth a try.
When we think about urban sustainability, we absolutely have to think about social equity and social justice. The idea that sustainability is about green buildings or about solar panels misunderstands the nature of the climate, ecological, environmental crisis that we face, and that crisis is real.
The history of black work and the reason we're in a black jobs crisis isn't because of the Great Recession of 2008. It's about the compounded crisis that has existed over time. The exclusion of black workers began after emancipation at the turn of the century, where in the industrial North, as black people began to move from the South, white skilled tradesmen basically organized, and sometimes they organized Klan chapters to help exclude black men from those trades. Affirmative action was 11 years. 11 years to fix 400 years of workplace exclusion.
So I try to at least get it like 3 or 4 times a week, but I've been doing a lot of hours. So you see, don't get my stomach, please. That's Johnny Walter Gibson. I'm Johnny Ray Gibson. My son is Johnny DeMaria Gibson. His son is Johnny Ray Gibson, named after me. My granddaughters are Nyla Ray and Rayel. My daughters are Gianni and Johnny. Certificate of completion, building and grounds worker, doing that while I wasn't working at night. My industrial operator, powered industrial truck for the union. In 04, I made $35,000 as an apprentice. In 05, I made $55,000. In 06, I made $70,000. And in 08, I did like a little work, and since I became a journeyman, I haven't been hired. By the time you can come up in a company, but once you start making, good money, they'll lay you off. They'll lay you off and, hire a relative or, because you're making too much money. Somewhere down the line, there's a plan to keep us blacks here in poverty, because with me making $80,000 a year, I won't be here on 75th and Central.
Even though we know about it, it's not an issue yet. So the first thing is that this has to be an issue. Secondly, it is to make sure that we propose concrete steps that can be taken to eliminate the job crisis. First, we want 10% across the board on these construction sites. Secondly, we want to make sure that there are pre-apprenticeship programs. Thirdly, we want the city to conduct an audit to make sure that the figures that we're talking about are accurate and that others can see it and it's public. And then finally, we want an Office of Labor Standards and Enforcement, because we've got good language. We fought to get good language, but unless it's enforced, it's just words on paper.
Workers who come to us and talk about discrimination where, just being passed over for promotions. So folks who have access to work, for one, being well qualified, well skilled, promised promotions, and then seeing someone else of another race come in. You train that person with the skills to do the job, and then for multiple years you are passed up for the promotion.
The difference between apprenticeship and journeyman is that out of work list. When you're an apprentice, it's anywhere from 20 to 50 people on the list that's out of work. When you hit that journeyman out of work list, you're looking at 400 people. You're number 400. It's going to take 7, 8, 9 months to get to number 400. Now, you can skip the line if you take classes. I've skipped the line a couple times because of classes I've taken at the union. You can go there and take different classes, and when an employer asks for certain skills, they go off the list of people who took classes. And if a lot of guys who don't take classes, you'll jump right over them. That helped me in a few cases, but ultimately, the list was too long, and I also would rather be a working apprentice than an out-of-work journeyman.
I was a retail store manager, a general store manager for numerous companies, as well as teeter-tottering between getting myself into trouble with gang banging, selling drugs, and it caused me, to end up going to prison, which took me away from my son. Once I, was released and, got off parole, I came home with the mindset and being determined of getting back in the workforce and doing what I needed to take care of myself and my son. I've had my share of issues with males, but I stood my ground to gain that respect. I've had a lot of arguments with different men because they looking at me, oh, she's a woman, and me standing my ground and not allowing you to disrespect me or, say sexist things towards me or discriminate against me because I'm a female and a minority. It was kind of hard because I was out there on these jobs and I didn't see anyone like me, no women, no minority women on top of that. And I was out there with a lot of men, but I didn't let that discourage me. I still said, you know what, I'm still going to do what I need to. I'm still going to fight for what I believe in. This is where I'm at, where I want to be.
I found, when I joined the Black Worker Center, there was a lot of blacks, a lot of brothers having the same problem. So that kind of brought us together, and I got involved. I started helping out. I started volunteering my time. At the time, it was kind of rough in my neighborhood, Black Worker Center kind of took me away from that. I took myself away from that. And we started seeing results. We started having these pre-jobs meetings that we were invited to. We started rallying around the Black worker crisis.
The company I'm with now, I've been with them for about a good year and a week. And a couple months ago, they had an issue where they had, nooses down under the tunnel underground. And it was shocking to hear that because it's like, wow, really? Because of the job site I'm on, you have a lot of African Americans that's working on this job.
Part of what we want to do is say that this is a structural condition, not an individual condition. So this excuse that is put forward about we're not ready or they can't find black workers or, we're too surly even when we get a job or we're too, all those are the same kind of positions that we've heard all of our history here, except for the times when we were slaves. At that point, we were available, we were free, and we were hardworking.
So we're in front of the Crenshaw LAX line. It's a 8.5 mile project about $2.5 billion worth of work, 5 years long. And pretty much it's going to connect from, Crenshaw and Rodeo, all the way close to LAX under this historic project labor agreement. This PLA is being looked at nationwide as how can we roll out a jobs program federally funded to impact communities and empower communities to get access to the work.
I would drive past and I would say, I'm going to be on that project. And to later on say, hey, I took part in building this Metrolink that's going down Crenshaw, and giving my son a chance to see me in the community and see me working, at times makes me feel good being a single mother.
Appreciate y'all coming out. Thanks for coming out, come talking. And then if you need anything, make sure you give me a call. And please.
This is extremely new for me, but I came home with the mindset of wanting to do something new. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go back to all of that. And I actually got referred down here by my mother-in-law's friend. This is just something that I never could have imagined that this was going to be so valuable to me.
What the hands do, the heart learns. And if all we do is fight against what we don't want, we learn to love the fight. We are in, Black women's leadership and women of color leadership has been in our movement from the beginning. Now it is visible, it is elevated, and it is the leadership that we need.
Public sector workers are important to the integrity of our city, county, and community. I have a speech here. Turn it over. That's right. Let's be real. Let's be real. I live in Long Beach. Every day when I see construction workers, I see everybody else but color. And I'm trying to figure out, I know our people need a job, and I know people out there looking for work. So what's the problem? Something is wrong with that picture. They are not hiring our people. Let's be real. Everywhere I go, I see no Black people working. Now, there is no excuse for it. Whoever looking at this tape, you better start hiring our people and put them to work. I got 8 grandkids. They gonna need a job. So I'm just saying to you, enough is enough. Bullshit stink. Okay?